The room went silent. Even the guard stopped moving. The man in the orange jumpsuit leaned forward, resting his hands on the metal table. His voice was calm. Too calm. "There's something I need to tell you," he said. "It's about a murder. One nobody knows about." The detective across from him froze. "What murder?" she asked slowly. The man looked up. His eyes were tired but steady. "The one you never found. The girl who disappeared 15 years ago." A file slipped from the detective's hands and hit the floor. Because the girl he just named had never been listed as murdered, she was still a missing person. And the man confessing was already serving a life sentence for a different crime. That was the moment a cold case came back to life. And no one in that room was ready for what he said next. 3 weeks earlier, the prison chapel was half empty. It was a quiet Tuesday afternoon at Stonebridge Correctional Facility. Most inmates skipped chapel. Nothing ever happened there, except that day. My name is Daniel Harper. I worked as a prison counselor. My job was simple. Listen to inmates, write reports, try to keep things calm. That day, an inmate asked to speak with me after chapel. His name was Michael Reeves. He was 51 years old, gray hair, thin face. He had been in prison for over 20 years for armed robbery and assault. He was known as quiet, polite, invisible. "What can I help you with?" I asked. He sat down slowly, looked at the floor. "I need to confess to something," he said. I thought he meant prison rules. "Contraband. A fight. What is it?" I asked. He swallowed. "A crime from before I came here." That got my attention. "Involving who?" I asked. He took a deep breath. "A girl named Emily Carter." My stomach tightened. Emily Carter. I remember that name. Everyone in our state did. Emily was 19 years old when she vanished. She left her job at a diner one night and never made it home. No body, no suspects, just flyers, searches, and silence. That was 15 years ago. "You know this is serious," I said. Michael nodded. "I know." I asked him why he was telling me now. He didn't answer right away. Then he said, "Because I'm tired of carrying it, and because nobody else is going to say it." That was a low moment. Quiet. Heavy. I ended the session and reported it to my supervisor. Protocol was clear. Any confession had to be taken seriously. 2 days later, Michael Reeves was sitting in an interview room with detectives. That's where the story exploded. Detective Laura Simmons had worked cold cases for years. She didn't expect much when she walked into that room. Most prison confessions were lies. People wanted attention, or better treatment. But Michael didn't ask for anything. He didn't ask for a deal. He didn't ask for protection. He didn't ask for forgiveness. He just talked. "I met Emily at the diner," he said. "She was closing. I offered her a ride." Laura leaned forward. "Why would she get in your car?" Michael shrugged. "She knew me. I was a regular." That detail hadn't been public. Laura felt a chill. "Where did you take her?" she asked. Michael named a road. An old road. One that police searched years ago but gave up on. "She didn't scream," he said. "She trusted me." The room felt smaller. "Where is she now?" Laura asked quietly. Michael looked at his hands. "I buried her." That was the extreme moment. The confession everyone thought would never come. But something didn't add up. Michael Reeves was already in prison when Emily disappeared. At least, that's what records said. Laura checked the dates again. And again. Then she saw it. Michael Reeves had been out on temporary release the week Emily vanished. The file had been misfiled. Buried. Just like Emily. News spread fast. A prison inmate had confessed to a cold case murder nobody knew was a murder. Families called police stations. Reporters waited outside the prison gates. Emily Carter's parents were contacted after 15 years of waiting. They didn't know whether to cry or scream. Michael Reeves agreed to show police where the body was. That's when fear entered the room. Because if he was lying, he was wasting everyone's time. And if he was telling the truth, then the justice system had missed a killer for 15 years. They drove him out under heavy guard. Cameras followed every move. Michael stared out the window like he was watching past. When they reached the old road, he told them to stop. Not here, he said. Further. They drove deeper into the woods. Then he pointed. Right there. Officers dug for hours. The sun started to set. Then a shovel hit something solid. Everyone froze. The shovel hit something hard again. Then again. The sound was dull, not like rock. Everyone stopped moving. The wind pushed through the trees, making the leaves shake like they were scared too. Careful, Detective Laura Simmons said. The officers dug slower now. Hands replaced shovels. Dirt was brushed away bit by bit. Then they saw it, a piece of fabric. Old, faded. Michael Reeves watched from a few feet away, his hands cuffed in front of him. His face did not change. That's it, he said softly. That's her. Laura felt her throat tighten. After 15 years, the search was no longer a question. They kept digging. Bones appeared. Then more. The shape of a human body, curled slightly on its side. A necklace lay tangled near the collarbone. Laura recognized it right away. It matched the photo in the file. Emily Carter. Someone whispered, "Oh my God." Another officer turned away. The woods were silent again. That was an extreme moment. Everyone feared and hoped for at the same time. They had found her. The site was closed off fast. Yellow tape went up. Cameras were pushed back. Forensic teams worked under bright lights as the sky turned dark. Michael was taken back to the prison before midnight. He didn't resist. On the ride back, he finally spoke again. "I told you I'd show you," he said. Laura sat across from him, arms crossed. "Why now?" He stared out the window. "Because every night I see her face. And because I'm running out of time." "What do you mean?" she asked. He didn't answer. Back at Stonebridge Correctional Facility, Michael was placed in a separate unit. Word spread fast among the inmates. A man who confessed to a murder nobody knew about was dangerous in a new way. The next morning, Emily Carter's parents were brought in. They were older now, slower, but their eyes were sharp. Laura sat with them in a small room. No cameras, no reporters. "We found her," Laura said gently. Emily's mother covered her mouth and cried. Her father closed his eyes and nodded like he already knew. For 15 years, her mother said, "We waited for a call like this." Laura told them about the confession, about the woods, about the necklace. They listened without speaking. "Was it him?" her father asked. Laura paused. "We believe so, but we have to prove it." That was the low moment. Finding the body was not the end. It was the beginning. Back in prison, Michael asked to speak again. This time, he wanted Detective Laura alone. When she entered the interview room, he was already seated, hands folded. "You left something out," Laura said. Michael nodded. "I know." "Why?" she asked. "Because the truth is bigger than Emily," he said. Laura leaned forward. "Explain." Michael took a slow breath. "I didn't mean to kill her." Laura didn't speak. "I panicked," he continued. "She saw something she shouldn't have." "What?" Laura asked. Michael hesitated. Then he said, "Another crime." Laura's heart skipped. "What crime?" Michael looked straight at her. "One that involves people who are still free." The room felt colder. "You're saying Emily's death wasn't random," Laura said. He shook his head. "No, it was the end of something else." Laura stood up. "We're done for now." Michael called out as she reached the door. "If you stop now, you'll never finish it." She didn't turn around. Over the next few days, forensic results came back. The remains matched Emily Carter. The cause of death was ruled homicide. Michael Reeves was officially charged with murder. The news exploded. But something else started happening. Old reports were pulled from storage. Names crossed out years ago came back. A pattern began to form. Emily had worked late shifts. She had written something down the week before she disappeared. A note in her journal that police had ignored. Laura read it again. "I saw something bad tonight. I don't think they saw me." Laura felt a chill. Michael asked for another meeting. This time, his tone was different. "If you want the whole truth," he said, "you need protection. because what I'm about to tell you, people killed to keep it quiet. Laura stared at him, realizing the cold case wasn't just solved. It was opening something much darker. And then Michael leaned forward and said the name of a person no one expected. The name Michael said hung in the air like smoke. Laura felt her chest tighten. "That's not possible," she said. But Michael didn't look surprised by her reaction. He nodded slowly, like he had waited years for someone to finally hear it. "You know the name," he said. "You just never looked at it this way." Laura sat back down. The name Michael gave was Richard Cole, a respected man, a local business owner, a person who had helped fund search efforts for Emily Carter years ago, a man who stood beside her parents during candlelight vigils. Laura remembered him clearly. Everyone did. "You're saying Richard Cole was involved?" she asked. Michael nodded. "Not just involved. He was the reason." Laura's mind raced. Richard Cole had been questioned years ago, briefly, then cleared. No record after that. "Emily saw him," Michael continued, "that night at the diner. She saw him meet someone behind the building. A deal. Cash. Something illegal." Laura stayed silent. She wrote it down. Michael said, "She told me she was scared." "You didn't go to the police," Laura said. Michael laughed softly. "Look at me. You think I trusted the police back then?" Laura didn't answer. Michael went on. "I offered her a ride because I wanted to help, but on the road, she said she was going to tell someone. She said she couldn't keep quiet." His voice shook for the first time. "I panicked," he said. "I stopped the car. We argued. I pushed her. She fell and hit her head." The room was silent except for Michael's breathing. "I didn't plan to kill her," he said, "but I buried her to protect him, to protect them." "Them?" Laura asked. Michael nodded. Richard wasn't alone. Laura ended the interview. She needed proof, and she needed to move fast. Within days, search warrants were approved. Richard Cole's business records were pulled. Old phone logs, bank statements. Something showed up, large cash deposits. Around the time Emily disappeared. Then more. A second name appeared in the records. A former county official who had retired early, quietly. The same man who approved Michael Reeves's temporary release paperwork. Laura felt sick. This wasn't just a crime. It was a system failure. Emily's case hadn't gone cold. It had been pushed into the dark. Emily's parents were called in again. This time, Laura told them everything. Her mother cried quietly. Her father stared at the floor, shaking his head. "He stood next to us," her father said. "He helped us search." Laura nodded. That's why this stayed hidden. Richard Cole was arrested 2 weeks later. He didn't resist. His face was calm as cameras flashed. "I didn't kill anyone," he said, but the evidence kept coming. Witnesses, records, old lies unraveling. Richard was charged with obstruction and conspiracy. Others followed. Michael Reeves pleaded guilty to Emily's murder. He never asked for a deal. He never asked to leave prison. "I just wanted her found," he said in his final statement. She deserved that. Emily Carter was finally laid to rest. 15 years late, but not forgotten. The case changed the department. Procedures were rewritten. Old files reopened. Trust shaken. Laura stood at Emily's grave long after everyone else left. A cold case solved, but at a terrible cost. Michael Reeves returned to his cell that night. He lay on his bunk and stared at the ceiling. For the first time in years, he slept without seeing Emily's face. And somewhere inside a prison, a confession finally ended a secret no one was supposed to know.